Hi guys, we wanted to show you today one of the common mistakes people make not only in the gym but also just in life. And so Kayla is going to be our model today, and we're going to be showing you guys just some easy tips that you can use at home or wherever to fix these mistakes. And so this is like a bend and lift move, or if you've heard of it, like a deadlift or an RDL. So those are common moves that you see people do at the gym. So Kayla, go ahead and show us a good deadlift here real quick. That's where, or bend and lift, where you're going down towards the ground. It's almost like you're picking something up the ground and lifting it. And so that's what she's doing there. Notice she has a nice straight back. Her hips are going back as she's doing that. And she's kind of keeping her chest out as well as she's doing that. So that's a deadlift. An RDL is very similar. It stands for Romanian deadlift. It's basically a stiff-legged deadlift. So Kayla, go ahead and show us. Good. So notice it's a very similar motion, but she's just slightly bending her knees as she's doing that. She's getting more of a hamstring activation when she's doing this, hamstring and lower back. But definitely more hamstring, keeping those knees just partially bent. So anyway, those are those two main moves. Moves that we do throughout the day. It's definitely one of those functional movements that we complete daily. And so there's a couple things that I want to show you, a couple common mistakes. One of the common mistakes to do is to have your back bent as you're bending over. So Kayla's going to show us a bad one with her back bent. So notice the rounding in her back as she goes down. She's still doing the motion well, but she's got a lazy back. She's not trying to keep her back straight. That can be pretty tough on your low back. And so it's really, really important, not only in the gym, but also just in real life, because you can hurt your lower back doing that. So that's a common thing that I see. The other thing that I see is, and it's mainly in men just with tight hips, is when they bend over, they don't use their hips hardly at all. So the bending motion, yeah, it's a lot like that. So they squat a little bit too much, and their back is super arched because their hips won't go back. And Kayla actually can't even really do it without pushing her hips back, because it's hard to do. But with guys that don't have wide hips like girls do, and they're more tight, it's pretty easy for that to happen. So I want to show you guys a few moves that you can do on your own that easily fix these. And some work for others, some don't. That's why I want to show you 3 of them, because sometimes one doesn't work and then the second one just clicks and then it works for you. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to show you a cat-cow or a cat-camel. So Kayla's going to get on all fours here. And so the cat portion is going to be as you arch your back up. So notice that she arched her back up there. She tightened up her abdomen and her head went down, and her hips, go ahead and do that again, Kayla, and notice how her hips come in. So her hips kind of come in towards her. So that's the cat, like a mad cat position. Abdomen is strong, back is stretching. The camel or the cow position is going to be just opposite. So now her head comes up, her hips, actually her hips are rotating forward, but her butt kind of sticks back as she does that, and then her back like dips straight down. So that's the position right there that she's in, that camel position, that we want to have you in when you're doing the deadlift or the RDL position. Not necessarily the head, but the back and the hips. So that's one thing that can help fix that, because now if Kayla were to go over and do a deadlift and she gets in that camel position before she starts, and she does it, notice how she's got that. It keeps her back straight, it pushes her hips back, and it keeps her shoulders back. So that can fix that a lot with people. The other thing that we can do, we can use that bar that Kayla has right behind her. So there's 3 points that I'm gonna have Kayla keep on the bar, right at her head, her upper back, and right at the small of her back, the lower back, or at the top of her butt. And so what she's gonna do here is she's gonna do that hip hinge motion, but she's gonna make sure to keep all 3 of those points on the bar. So at least she's got good form. So anyway, if she rounds her back, notice how the bar comes straight off. That's what you don't want to happen. So we wanna keep all 3 points on the bar as she's doing that. So go ahead and show us a good one again. Just keeping all 3 points on there, and that looks really good. So that's a good way to do that. Lastly, if guys are like having trouble tapping their hips on the, or pushing their hips back, then I'll have them do what's called I call it a butt tap. And so what they do is they come over to the wall. And so scoot forward just a little bit, Kayla. And so now what I'm gonna tell her to do is push her hips back to try to tap her butt on the wall. And so if you notice, that forces her to keep her weight back on her heels. and to tap her butt on the wall. And she's keeping her back straight, but what this can do for guys or gals that just can't push their hips back when they do it, they just can't picture it or feel it, this can help give them a feeling of pushing their hips back and something to push for. So those are our 3 tips for doing that deadlift or RDL or bend and lift position. And go ahead and try those out and see if you struggle with any of those motions, and let us know how they go.